So in this deep dive, we're going to help you understand how Stable Diffusion works and how you can start using it yourself.
That's right.
Both online and locally on your own computer.
We'll cover it all.
Sounds good. Ever wished you could just think an image into existence? I mean, we're not quite there yet.
Not quite.
But Stable Diffusion is getting...
It's getting pretty close.
Pretty darn close.
Yeah.
So what is it exactly?
Well, it's essentially an open source AI model that can translate your text descriptions into images.
Oh, wow.
Like having an AI art genie for your command.
That's a pretty cool way to put it.
Yeah.
So we're talking about creating images from scratch, just using words.
Exactly.
Wow.
And it's not limited to just creating new images.
Okay.
You can use it to modify existing ones.
Oh, cool.
Or even upscale those old blurry photos you might have laying around.
Oh, nice.
All you need are the right text prompts.
Text prompts.
Yeah, basically instructions for the AI.
Okay, got it.
Like a recipe.
Let's try to understand how this all works. How does it actually create these images?
Well, it's a process called diffusion.
Diffusion.
Yeah, and it's kind of like watching a drop of ink spread in water.
I'm picturing that now, all that swirling ink gradually mixing.
Right.
But I don't quite get how that creates a picture of, let's say, a cat wearing a hat.
Okay, so initially the model starts with pure visual chaos.
Like the swirling ink.
Exactly like that swirling ink. And as it processes your text prompts.
In this case, cat wearing a hat.
Right. It starts to guide the pixels, refining them step by step until that cat in the hat emerges from the chaos.
So it's like the AI is slowly bringing order to that chaos using our words as a blueprint.
Precisely.
Oh, okay.
And with each new version, Stable Diffusion gets more sophisticated.
More sophisticated.
Take Stable Diffusion 3, for example.
Okay.
It was trained on a massive data set of 2.3 billion images.
2.3 billion images.
That's right.
That's like every picture on the internet.
Well, maybe not every picture, but you get the idea.
I get the idea.
This massive training data is what gives Stable Diffusion its incredible capabilities.
That makes sense.
So how can you tap into this power?
Okay. I like where this is going.
Well, there are two main paths you can take.
All right.
Online platforms or running it locally on your computer.
Kind of like choosing between a streaming music service and buying your own records.
That's a great analogy.
Okay.
Online platforms are user-friendly, very accessible.
Right.
You don't need a powerful computer or any technical expertise.
Makes sense.
But if you want more control and the ability to really fine-tune things,
All right.
running it locally might be the way to go.
Got it.
So
let's start with the online options.
Okay.
You mentioned two popular choices, Dream Studio and Hugging Face.
Right.
What makes each of them unique?
Well, Dream Studio was created by Stability AI, the folks behind Stable Diffusion.
Okay.
It's designed to be super user-friendly, very clean and intuitive interface.
Okay.
And it can generate images really fast, sometimes in just a few seconds.
That sounds perfect for someone who just wants to jump right in.
Exactly.
Are there any other perks to using Dream Studio?
Yes. New users get free credits to experiment with.
Oh, free. I like free.
It's a great way to get a feel for the platform and see what Stable Diffusion can do without having to commit to a paid plan.
All right, so what about Hugging Face?
Well, Hugging Face is a bit different.
Okay.
It's more of a hub for all things AI, a community where developers share their work and collaborate on projects, and they offer free access to a bunch of Stable Diffusion demos.
So it's less of a polished platform.
Yeah, you could say that.
And more of a space for exploration and experimentation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You might not have the same level of fancy features or speed as Dream Studio.
Okay.
But Hugging Face is a fantastic resource if you want to get your hands dirty and see the open source side of Stable Diffusion.
I can see how both would appeal to different types of users. But for those who are ready to take the plunge and set up Stable Diffusion locally, what kind of technical know-how are we talking about?
Well, first off, you'll need a computer with a decent graphics card.
Okay, so a little more horsepower than your average web browsing machine.
That's right. Think of this as the engine that'll be powering your AI image creation.
All right, got it. What else do we need?
You'll need to install a few things.
Like what?
Like Python, which is a programming language, and Git, which is a tool for managing code. Don't worry, though. There are plenty of resources online that'll walk you through the process step by step.
So even if you're not a coding whiz, you can still handle that.
Absolutely. There's a very large and helpful community around Stable Diffusion.
Awesome.
You'll also need to create accounts on GitHub and Hugging Face.
GitHub and Hugging Face.
Yeah, these are platforms where developers share their work, and you'll be using them to download the necessary files for Stable Diffusion.
So GitHub is where we'll grab the actual Stable Diffusion code.
That's right.
And Hugging Face is where the AI models themselves live.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Okay, awesome.
Once you have those accounts set up,
yeah,
you'll be able to clone the Stable Diffusion web UI repository.
Okay, the what?
The repository.
Okay.
It's basically a collection of files that give you a user-friendly interface for controlling Stable Diffusion.
Oh, yeah.
Much easier than wrestling with lines of code.
So we'll have a nice control panel to work with.
Exactly.
Got it.
And finally, you'll download the latest Stable Diffusion model from Hugging Face.
Okay, so that's the brain of the operation.
Right.
The part that actually generates the images based on our text prompts.
Exactly.
So we've got our powerful computer, installed the necessary tools,
right,
grabbed the code from GitHub,
yep,
and downloaded the AI brain from Hugging Face.
We're all set.
What's next?
Well, next comes the fun part.
Oh.
Setting up the Stable Diffusion web UI.
And how do we do that?
This involves running a script, basically a set of instructions that configures everything and gets it ready to go.
And once that's done, we're ready to start creating.
That's right.
Wow, this is pretty involved.
It is, but it's worth it.
I believe you.
You'll be able to open a web browser and start using Stable Diffusion right on your own computer.
Well, buckle up, listeners, because we're about to dive even deeper.
It's going to be a wild ride.
In the next part, we'll actually explore how to use Stable Diffusion. Thanks for joining us on this exciting exploration. And remember, keep creating.
That's the most important part.